On a scorching May day in 2022, boaters on Lake Mead made a grim discovery: a rusted metal barrel embedded in the receding shoreline. Inside were human remains, a victim of foul play from decades past. Investigators noted the victim's 1970s-era clothing and a gunshot wound, fueling speculation of a mob hit from Las Vegas's darker days. But this morbid revelation was also a symptom of a larger crisis. Lake Mead, the massive reservoir created by the Hoover Dam to water the American Southwest, had shrunk to just 27% of its capacity. Its water level stood at the lowest point since 1937, lower than when it was first being filled during the Great Depression. Las Vegas, the city that rose from barren Mojave sands, now faces a harsh reality. The very forces that made its existence possible are faltering. Water is running out, temperatures are skyrocketing, and the mirage of endless growth is flickering. This is the story of Las Vegas, the city that shouldn't exist. In 1905, a dusty railroad town was born when local land auctions attracted ranchers, railroad workers, and opportunists. The San Pedro Los Angeles Salt Lake Railroad established a stopover, and water from the underground springs made settlement just barely feasible. The surrounding land was arid and unforgiving, an unlikely place for a major city, but the 20th century had other plans. Two developments set Las Vegas on its path to improbable glory. First, Nevada legalized gambling in 1931, just as the Great Depression hit. Second, construction began on the colossal Hoover Dam on the Colorado River. The dam, completed in 1935, would tame the river and create Lake Mead, assuring water and hydroelectric power for the region. Las Vegas suddenly had a reliable water source and abundant electricity. By the 1940s, with World War II-era travel restrictions lifted, the stage was set for a boom. As the post-war era arrived, Las Vegas embraced an identity of glamour and vice. Lavish casinos and hotels sprouted along Highway 91, luring visitors into palaces under neon lights. The 1946 opening of the Flamingo Hotel by gangster Bugsy Siegel is often cited as a turning point, the moment Vegas began to become a destination. Throughout the 50s and 60s, mob-connected syndicates built and operated many of the famous resorts, from the Sahara to the Sands. The city marketed itself as an escape from the ordinary, where indulgence was encouraged and the clocks had no hands. By 1960, Las Vegas's population topped 64,000, and the metropolis kept expanding outward into the desert. Crucially, technology made living in the Mojave Desert possible. Widespread air conditioning turned the sweltering desert summers from unbearable to merely challenging. Cheap electricity, much of it courtesy of Hoover Dam's hydroelectric turbines, powered cavernous casinos. With that in place, Las Vegas boomed. Between 1990 and 2000, its population exploded by 85%, making it one of the fastest-growing cities in the United States. The Las Vegas Valley approached 2 million residents and welcomed tens of millions of tourists a year. The city billed itself as the entertainment capital of the world, home to mega casinos, theme park resorts, and an economy entirely built on leisure and excess. This exuberant growth was happening in one of the driest places in North America. Las Vegas gets a mere 4 inches of rainfall per year on average. No major river flows through Las Vegas, and all of its growth is rested on imported water. Facing this reality, water managers had to innovate. By 1991, Pat Mulbright, the chief of the Southern Nevada Water Authority, recognized that something had to give. Las Vegas could not keep growing indefinitely on its limited water budget, but neither the city nor state leaders were willing to cap growth. She secured rights to groundwater in far-flung rural valleys and pushed plans for a 250-mile pipeline to import water from northern Nevada. These schemes faced fierce opposition from ranchers, indigenous tribes, and environmentalists, and many remain contested or unrealized. At the same time, Las Vegas has quietly become a world leader in urban water conservation. Per-person water use has dropped by 40 to 50% since the early 2000s. New houses are built water efficient by design, using half the water of old homes. Nearly all the water from sinks and showers is now being recycled, treated and piped back into Lake Mead for reuse. The lush lawns that once carpeted suburbia have been greatly scaled back. In fact, Southern Nevada banned purely ornamental grass. A rebate program has ripped out over 200 million square feet of turf, saving billions of gallons of water. Golf courses, of which there are over 60 in the Las Vegas Valley, are required to use less water, and many have replaced rough areas with desert landscaping. Even the casinos have joined in. Many resorts now use low-flow fixtures, drought-tolerant landscape, and high-tech monitoring to curb consumption. Despite adding more than 750,000 new residents since 2002, Southern Nevada in recent years uses significantly less water overall than it did back then. And yet, these efficiencies only delay the inevitable collision with limits. The city's entire existence still depends on the Colorado River, whose flows have decreased by about 20% since 2000, likely a permanent shift to drier conditions. The Southwest decades-long mega-drought, now recognized as the worst in at least 1,200 years, means that even with heroic conservation, less water is available from nature each year. Las Vegas has 3 giant intake straws reaching deeper and deeper into Lake Mead. and insurance policies so that if Lake Mead's level falls below the older intakes, Vegas can still get water. But if the reservoir continues to decline, at some point there simply may not be enough water to go around. By the 2020s, the signs of environmental strain were impossible to ignore. The bathtub ring around Lake Mead grew wider each year, its chalky white band of mineral deposits marking where water once reached. In July 2022, Lake Mead's surface hovered near 1,041 feet above sea level, perilously close to the level at which Hoover Dam's turbines can no longer generate power. Images taken from space underscored the dramatic change. For the first time ever, the federal government declared a water shortage on the Colorado River, triggering mandatory water cuts. The odds of Lake Mead ever filling back up to 20th century levels are slim. Water isn't the only challenge, however. Las Vegas is also heating up. In June 2021, a heat wave sent temperatures to 116 degrees Fahrenheit, setting an early season record. The concrete jungle of the Strip, along with miles of asphalt parking lots and roads, soaks up the sun and re-radiates heat at night, creating a severe urban heat island. Summers that routinely exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit strain the power grid, and they pose health risks simply for anyone who ventures outdoors. Air pollution has also worsened. Las Vegas now ranks among the top U.S. cities for ozone pollution, partly a byproduct of all the traffic and construction. For all its focus on climate and water, Las Vegas faces another uncertainty: maintaining the economic engine that keeps everything running. The city's fortunes have always been tied to tourism and growth, but what happens when the party slows down? In 2008, Las Vegas was rocked by the Great Recession. A housing market crash left whole subdivisions half-built and abandoned. The city eventually recovered, growing into the late 2010s with new attractions. But then came 2020 and the COVID-19 pandemic. Practically overnight, the Strip went dark. Casinos and hotels shuttered for weeks that stretched into months. The unemployment rate in Las Vegas briefly shot to one of the highest in the nation. While tourism did rebound when vaccines and reopenings arrived, Las Vegas emerged into a changed world. By the mid-2020s, there were signs that the city's luck might be faltering again. As of mid-2025, visitor numbers were down roughly 11% compared to the previous year. June 2025 saw about 400,000 fewer visitors than June 2024. This downturn has raised hard questions. Las Vegas thrives on offering an ever more spectacular escape, but can it count on a next generation of tourists, or will it rebound? Thanks for watching.